Welcome everyone to our weekly live question and answer with an integrative doctor. Every week at 9:45 a.m. Pacific time, we meet here together and we look for your questions, any and all health related questions. We answer those live. We encourage you to post those questions in the chat section, which should be right off to the side here. You'll have to be logged into YouTube to do that. Just post your questions. We're monitoring those and we'll be answering them as we go. We're getting a lot of questions and we're speaking a lot right now about COVID-19 because the world has changed and we're living in very different times right now. So we want to give you an informed answers and give you the facts and what we're seeing here at our office here in Tustin, Orange County, California. We're open. We are seeing patients both in person and via telehealth. Things are going well here. We're keeping our patients healthy, working on their immune systems, and we focus on the basics here and what things patients can be doing to keep their immune system strong and supported during this crisis here. So, Dr. Yu, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well. Again, it is Wednesday morning, and the gardeners came. And as I stepped out the front door, he was coming around the corner there by the door and spit out all this grass at me. And he got something in my eye.
Oh,
so if you see me touch my eye, forgive me. I was just hit by, debris. So I might have to pat my eye. But anyway, Wednesday's our garden day, both here at Tussin Longevity, wonderful, and at my home. And so thank you for the Kleenex, Blake, just in case I need it. So if you see me blinking with my right eye, that's why.
Right.
Life happens, it's live.
Does. And I'm not sure I introduced Dr. Rita Ellithorpe. She's our medical director and founder here at Tussin Longevity Center. She has a background as a general practitioner working in the Army as a flight surgeon. And then over the course of the last 25 plus years, has been focused on preventative medicine and family medicine.
And we publish in this too. So our work here is clinical research, and we are published. So if you go to our website, tlcdoctors.com, and click on the publications, you can see a sampling of several of our publications on cell membrane health, fatigue, and things like this. So it's fun.
It is. I do want to encourage you to post your questions. We're monitoring that here. So as soon as we see questions start coming in, we'll answer those. If you're watching, if you're finding value from these videos, if this is something you'd like to see us continue doing, if this is something you would like to share with your friends and family, you do not have to be a patient at our office here in Tustin to participate in these Q&As. Post those questions please in the chat. Do us a favor, subscribe to our channel, like the video. That lets us know that we're connecting with the listeners out there and that there's value in this and we can continue to provide this service.
And what about asking them if they would want us to do an evening run of this?
Sure, yeah, if a different time of the day for the live portion of this Q&A would work better for you, let us know also in either the comments or the chat section as well too. But so far, so good. What else did I want to mention? I want to mention for those of you who are in the Orange County area, I don't think we've mentioned quite enough, we are doing everything that we can to support both our patient base, the local community, and the first responders during these times, people that are having to go to work as essential workers. We're currently offering $25 off any infusion, any IV in our IV department for first responders, nurses, MAs, phlebotomists, doctors, firefighters, police officers. We want to encourage you to come in and get a wonderfully immune benefiting IV vitamin C that really is backed by research and just makes you feel great. And if you are feeling sick, we'll really shorten the time span of you feeling sick. If you're not, it'll just keep your immune system up and running.
So it's like an anti-aging technique for those of us who just do it periodically for slowing our age.
Yep. So tell your friends, tell your family. If you're a first responder, you're currently working right now on the front lines, please come in. We want to give you a discount on those IVs. Okay, it looks like we have our first question in.
Okay.
Marie asks, not sure if I should ask this, but if you don't mind answering, do you agree with the continued lockdown? Why or why not?
Well, the lockdown or shelter in place is the way I like to address this is wise in that if you can keep your activities at this time to a minimum and only go out for essential things, you will decrease your potential for being exposed. However, one of the things I'd like to bring up is there is a study that just came out April 11th, 2020, and this was published by the Department of Medicine, Stanford University School of Medicine in Stanford, California. And they did the title of the article is COVID-19 Antibody Seroprevalence in Santa Clara County, California. So that's north of LA a good bit. And what they found was the population prevalence of COVID-19 in Santa Clara ranged from 2.5% to 4.2%. I rounded up. These prevalence estimates represent a range between 48,000 and 81,000 people infected in Santa Clara County by early April, which is a 50 to 85-fold more than the number of confirmed cases. So what this is telling us, and this is being discussed very heavily in the arenas of science, so I listened to a whole lecture on this by the chief medical officer sponsoring this, which was Aaron Ben David, which is in the Department of Medicine at Stanford, and collaborators. And they discussed this and they said, in fact, this is now the first large random population sampling that actually will give us a good idea of the prevalence in society. Yes, you can argue versus a crowded city, okay, like New York, but in general, this is the first out there. And they're going to predict then, therefore, that the prevalence and the impact of this is that of the common flu season every year, with a 0.1 to 2, 0.1 or 0.2% mortality risk. And this is very good news. Now, we suspect this. I've always suspected this, okay? Yet, I don't want to, tempt God, you might say. And so the hand washing, which should always have been a part, especially of healthcare protocol, and good hygiene in the home, and staying home if you're ill, has always been valuable. So I think this wonderful study on showing the seroprevalence that agrees that this is probably no more prevalent than the common flu season that we see and mortality incidences, that this should comfort us all. Therefore, with science like this now, I think we should feel comfortable in being more relaxed about going out and ending the shelter-in-place restrictions and opening up business just with a heightened sense of washing your hands and cleansing your counters or whatever instruments you use in your business, and get back to work. This is very good news.
And I'm hoping that this isn't just a life back to normal type thing. I'm hoping that we as a country at least realize the benefit in prevention and in the diet and lifestyle choices that we make to keep our immune system functioning well, because we're seeing more and more, I believe, that medicine isn't going to come to the rescue with some miracle intervention flu vaccine that's going to solve this for us. But if our bodies are doing their jobs the way that they should be doing them, we should be able to weather these seasonal viruses and things that come out.
Absolutely. I always have felt that they're not asking a very important foundational question at the meetings that we see with the update every day with the president and the task force for COVID-19. And that is, what have the sales on vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, multivitamins with selenium, quercetin, these kind of items, how have the sales gone up since January of this year? Because our supplies have always been running out, so we have been struggling to have this available and clinically researched material that we have efficacy, we know it will work. And I honestly think that this has done probably more to enhance the innate continuous immune system that we all carry around with us. A good night's sleep, drinking plenty of water, getting modest aerobic exercise, eating a low-carb diet, taking some tailored nutrients, vitamin D daily, vitamin C support, zinc in a multivitamin or zinc lozenges, vitamin A, taking healthy whole foods rather than processed foods, things such as this have probably been as effective, if not more effective, in what you carry with you all your life long is your innate immune system. I have some updated, interesting articles on this, if you want me to bring that up.
If we can be brief and just kind of summarize them real quickly.
Yeah, the idea that we're going to come up with a vaccine for COVID-19 is of course being looked at and should be looked at. However, they don't have a vaccine for the SARS virus or the MERS or any of those. And I'm saying this in light of you need to take personal responsibility and defend yourself. There are researchers in Australia and Taiwan, and they warned, and this was reported in Fox News, that a mutation strain from India could kill current research efforts for coronavirus vaccine. And why are they saying it? They say that there are nucleotide SNPs that are in the RNA and DNA copies. And these SNPs have been changing, and that's in the spike protein that allows it to fix onto the cell membranes. And so this ability to generate, just like the flu vaccine, estimating what it will be this year or how it will manifest is a challenge. So the concept of developing a vaccine is very hard. It is mutating. They're already seeing families and mutations of the COVID-19 around the globe now. So that this is a challenge. Therefore, we who are working to build your innate immune system and doing these other protective things are emphasizing this, all the while researchers saying it is unlikely to make a difference. I also like looking at retrospective meta-analyses. These are looking back at research and taking tons of research and doing a meta-analysis, many research. And in 2014, there is Koch's postulate, okay? Koch's postulate, he was a doctor in the 1895 who came up with theories, that you have to satisfy before you make a diagnosis. So in medical school, we learned the history of medicine, and Koch had these postulates, and you have to really prove that you're isolating the agent or pathogen, and that you can infect someone else with that pathogen, and that they have to have the same symptoms and so forth. So Koch's postulate is very hard to fill for a diagnosis, and so we struggle as doctors to prove what we're doing. And one of the things with vaccines in this Cochrane library, so this is a library of science that looks at a retrospective meta-analysis of vaccine efficacy. Does it work? Does it help? And in this one, published 13 March 2014 in the Cochrane Systematic Review intervention titled Vaccines for Preventing Influenza in Healthy Adults, their conclusion was basically they looked at 90 reports and 116 data sets, and among them there were 70,000 people in this study. And basically they found that the seasonal influenza had modest to very little effect on diminishing the days of illness or days missed from work, and really had no impact on hospitalizations and stuff, but did carry with it a modest amount of risk, for things like Guillain-Barré's syndrome, okay? So maybe 1.6 out of every 100,000 vaccines, I believe, had that. 1.6 out of every 100,000 vaccines was a risk. So when we look at retrospective meta-analysis, and I have another one here from 2010, they're just finding that vaccination had a modest effect on time off work, had no effect on hospitalization admissions or complication rates. Inactivated vaccines cause local harms, and estimated 1.6 additional cases of Guillain-Barré per million vaccinations. And so we have to be mindful of the benefit-cost ratio. So Are vaccinations valuable? There are a lot that say we really can't generate an accurate vaccine, and there are some risks, and their benefits are negligible.
Okay, our next question, thank you, Marie, for that question, is from Katrina. I heard that quinine or Schweppes tonic water and zinc could help with COVID-19. Your thoughts? And I know that both the tonic water, the quinine that's found in there, comes from the plants that we developed, the
hydroxychloroquine.
Yes.
Yeah. Quinine was the original treatment many years ago.
Malaria.
Yeah, for malaria.
Right.
And so your tonic waters that have quinine in them are potentially a very valuable thing. But where's the study? Okay, where's the study? So I'm in favor of it. I don't like a lot of carbonated beverages because they're acidic. And remember, when you transfer the little virus that's encapsulated and it gets attached to the cell membrane and then is absorbed as a little endosome, it has to have an acidic pH to work. And one of the things we believe that hydroxychloroquine is it's a little basic, and it creates a base for it as well. And if it makes it a bit more basic in the cytosol, it destroys the ability of that virus to replicate. That's one of the hypotheses of its mechanism. The other, and the one I favor, is that hydroxychloroquine is an ionophore, meaning it attracts the zinc positive, double positive ion, and brings it into the cell, which is known to inhibit the reverse transcriptase RNA replication of the virus. So, is drinking an acidic tonic the right thing to do? I would prefer not. I would rather you drink filtered water.
Zinc and what's in the
quercetin.
Quercetin.
Yeah, quercetin. Right. So I take about a gram of quercetin a day for my allergies. And maybe this is what keeps me so healthy all the time, along with my multivitamin TLC Energy Core or Mitocore that has the zinc in it all the time.
Right.
Plus I teach and eat a low-carb diet and, get my sleep, drink my water, do my exercise. I admit I haven't been as much lately because I closed down Pilates in the gym and my perfect workout place. But nevertheless, I honestly think this is the reason why I come down with a cold maybe once every 10 years, and it's only very mild.
Thank you, Katrina. Next question is from Sylvia, and she asks, what is the best time of day to take vitamin D supplement? Of course, it's a fat soluble, so I'm not sure it matters when you take vitamin D.
I don't think it matters what time of day. I think what matters is that you take it, okay? So whether it's morning or evening, I just have my routine in the morning. I have a tiny little cup that I have all my vitamins in. I like to make the joke, Talon, saying I take 75 vitamins a day. And, everyone goes, oh, God, how do you take 75 pills? It's because it's really 25 and I burp them up so often. Just put a little fun in the game here. No, I take my vitamins in the morning, and it's just a routine for me. And at bedtime, I'll take my little vitamin C with magnesium powder drink with my evening multivitamin, because I don't like to take my multivitamin minerals that do have a little calcium in it with my morning thyroid tablet.
Right. Many vitamins and minerals are water soluble, and your body will discharge anything that it doesn't immediately put to use. But vitamin D is a little unique in that it is a fat soluble vitamin that you can store. I know some patients that take it once a week. They'll take their 50,000 IUs once a week instead of taking maybe 10,000 every single day.
Well, the research out there is being built that tends to say that's not the best way to take vitamin D in one big bolus. Rather, the suggestion is a modest dosing every day is more efficacious in protecting you than a unique bolus. Now, if I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or something, I do bolus with a 50,000 high dose vitamin D, one a day for 5 days only, and that's on top of my daily 10,000 that I take every day. So that's the only, in my opinion, research-based rationale for a bolus of vitamin D.
But to answer the question specifically, there is not a particular time of the day that is better or worse to take vitamin D.
You can make the argument, since it's fat soluble, to take it with eating. Okay, you can make that argument. I've been doing this for decades, doing research on this and vitamin D. I haven't really seen a difference in myself or others who take usually their dose in the morning.
Okay, thank you, Sylvia. Next question is a bit of a comment. Just wanted to say I bought Digestive and started taking it a few days ago. It's amazing stuff, even better than Dr. McCullough's enzyme. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We love Molecular and their digestive enzymes, very good. I will say the supply chain for a lot of these medical supplements and nutrients has been disrupted. And we are expecting to run out pretty soon here of Digestive. So we do still have some in stock, I understand. But when we run out of that, we have Medigest as our next go-to backup. That's right. Medigest from
Another name for that is Spectrazyme.
Spectrazyme,
yeah,
yes.
Spectrazyme. So there you have it, folks. Here's example after example. Here we've been steady as steady can be, helping with the prevention of disease in our patient base for decades. Our patients are doing fantastically. Even our very seriously compromised patients who are fighting cancer, fighting end-stage diseases. And now with all the demand, our supply is going down. So you have to understand, I think it's the right thing for medical school to get their act right and teach prevention rather than management of disease.
I was shocked to find out, because we're trying to make sure that we're absolutely stocked up on everything that we need. I've never had trouble getting our ascorbic acid, vitamin C for our IVs, and then these last few weeks it's been very difficult to get a hold of, and I figured it was other integrative physicians that were stockpiling. Turns out hospitals are buying up vitamin C because lo and behold, they're kind of catching up now.
They're catching up. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, they're using this in the hospitals as a preventative and treatment.
Good. I'm so glad to see this.
I'm not happy that we're getting challenged with our supply.
Just help the people is the whole point.
Next question is from Amila. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. How long should you supplement with iodine before taking the iodine loading test? Also, should iodine be taken with food or on an empty stomach?
Typically, we find 96 or 7% of the U.S. population is iodine deficient. Now, with that, my personal clinical experience confirms that. I have seen maybe 1 or 2 people in decades of practice who I've done an iodine 24-hour urine challenge with and found them to be adequate. So yes, we are deficient. And when to take it? I just want to get you iodine sufficient. And by that I mean, I don't care if you've been taking iodoral or iThroid 1 a day or 2 a day, and you want to check your urine iodine level, I'll do it. And what you do is you just take 50 milligrams of the salt iodine as a one-time dose, and then you collect 24 hours of urine. And I prefer and really only use doctor's data for the assays. And when to take it, again, it's water soluble, so I take my iodine with my thyroid, Armour Thyroid, or I'm on Nature Thyroid, in the morning on an empty stomach, and that seems to be just fine. But any time of day taking iodine is fine. Iodine also has a lot of good research indicating that it may be very effective in preventing breast cancer, uterine, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, because these are hormonally very active tissues in human beings, and there's a lot of work done, and their need for iodine is concentrated in the breast and the prostate in these areas. Therefore, the lack of it puts that cell system in a stress. So by taking it, I honestly think if we would check our daughters and our sons and make sure they're all on iodine. You're on iodine, aren't you? This is my son, if you don't know. And I think we're going to do well. My husband, who's into his 70s, has no prostate issues. I'm so blessed that we've done such good prevention with him, and his PSAs are fantastic.
Okay. Did we answer the question about the loading? How much to take for loading test?
Yes, 50 milligrams.
Okay.
Yeah, 50 milligrams. And each tablet usually is 12.5 milligrams. So 12.5, yeah. 4 tablets is 50 milligrams.
And if you're taking that urine challenge for iodine test with us, call our lab and they'll make sure to get you the kit and go over the instructions with you specifically so that you're clear on what to do for that test. Next question is, would you say that someone who rarely gets a flu or cold has a strong immune system? And that's from Farhood.
Yes, absolutely. Those who, as myself and our staff here, it's an amazing thing if someone calls in sick here in general. And my doctors and myself, we stay well because we do things that have research and clinical backing on building your innate immune system up. So without a doubt, this is the first medicine that you should get and to prevent disease development.
Okay, Maurice said, Dr. Rita, text me. I'll be opening soon. So I think that's your
Okay,
Pilates.
That's my Pilates. Wonderful. Tustin Pilates of Old Town. Tustin Old Town Pilates. I just love it.
That.
Yeah.
Trevor says he loves the humor, Dr. Ellithorpe. Let's see. Amela says, how far apart from your thyroid hormone do you take the supplements in the morning?
I don't separate them. I actually take my Nature thyroid along with my B vitamins, my D, my iodine, my quercetin, and my CoQ10, and my I take the turmeric in the form of Treviva. So I take it all together. I don't separate them out. The only thing I separate is I take my Vitalzyme systemic enzymes, Vascuzyme, Proteozyme. I take them on an empty stomach for sure, but I take them with all my thyroid and my other vitamins in the morning, so I don't eat until noon or later. So my stomach is empty, hopefully 18 hours a day, so I always practice fasting every day of my life, and I just don't separate them out. I take them all together.
Red Lisab said, glad she recommends natural porcine thyroid. Praise God. It has calcitonin in it. Synthetics don't. I just bought some atomidine nascent iodine and planning to learn how to use it for some of my issues. So a bit of a comment there.
Very good.
And at the moment, that looks to be all of the questions that we have.
I was talking about Pilates, and I want to say, I'm going to be 66. And in Chinese years, 67, and I have worked all my life, right? I never stop working, right, Talon? And my Araceli came in this morning, and she said, "You're here, Dr. Ellithorpe? Do you sleep here?" So I love work. I love what I do, and I love my patients and family, and I had been military for many, many years, and I had to do PE and test and ROTC and all this kind of rough, tough stuff in the early 70s when they opened it up for the women. And I don't like exercise. I don't like it at all. My feet then developed plantar fasciitis because I wasn't stretching. And I had that for about a year, and the only time I got rid of it was when I do a 5-day fast, when I eat nothing for 5 days. Well, after I started eating again, my plantar fasciitis came back a bit, and I went to Pilates, and I'm telling you, after my very first day doing Pilates, all my plantar fasciitis went away. And that's the traditional Pilates with the stretching. So I have to just plug body motion, exercise, stretching, especially as you get older. They say rigor mortis starts to set in at age 40 and only builds up. And so I'm very much in favor of Pilates.
One last question squeaked in, and I think we might be able to answer it quickly. Deborah asks, what are the bad effects that can happen if you take the flu vaccine every year? Now with COVID-19 vaccine coming out, the government will want us to take that.
Yes, indeed. Those studies, those retrospective meta-analyses in the Cochrane library that I had looked at actually saw a negative impact on the immune system by making it hypersensitive. So serial flu shots year after year could actually diminish your outcome by giving you a hyperactive immune response. And that's what we're seeing in this COVID-19. There seems to be an extraordinary inflammatory response at the alveoli where the virus comes in through the airborne attack. And so I think there has to be a lot of research, a lot of studies on this, and I do have concern for people who are already taking the vaccination. 2 or 3 videos ago I was talking about the very first woman who was being treated with this. So we need research, we need open dialogue. Let's not be like other countries that can suppress their doctors from warning the public about a potential disease or solution, and then that doctor being disappeared. We should have the freedom to talk and ask questions and stay apolitical. We're looking for the truth. So if I see research that shows it, that's what I'm looking for, outside of the politics.
Right. It's a good way to sum that up. Thank you, Doctor. Well, I hope this was valuable, folks, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here next Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel here. If we post anything in between, you'll be notified of that. That'll also help us reach a little bit of a bigger audience. Please invite your friends and family and loved ones to tune in with us next Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. Ask any question. It doesn't have to be around COVID-19. We'll try to answer those questions as quickly as we can when they come on.
And let us know if they would like evenings once a week, where maybe we could do this for 45 minutes to an hour and more relaxed.
Absolutely. Great. Well, thanks again, guys. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. Pacific. Until then, be well. Thank you.